There is a condominium price collapse that has already begun, and it is going to be an amazing opportunity for you if you want to follow the signs. I'm going to explain what is going to cause it, what is already happening right now, how it's already started. But first, I've got to tell you, my first rental that I ever owned, the year 2000, 2001, was a condominium, and it was amazing for one reason. I didn't have to worry about the outside. And, well, I guess the second reason, I had a lot of people watching over my rental for me. That could have some pitfalls, but what we're going to talk about is a couple of pitfalls that are happening right now, because a lot of the time with condos, prices are fixed, but not during a real estate and an inflation crisis. So how do we make money from this? Well, first off, you're going to be taking advantage of a seller's fears, their greatest fears. That was at one point a fixed price, their HOAs going out of control and higher. And there's 2 times during a condo's lifespan this happens. But a third one was just introduced by the federal government. So let's backtrack. HOAs are comprised of fixed costs, usually an average price set by the HOA for how much certain utilities that are covered are going to be. And if it goes over, it's always overestimated. And if there's a balance left over at the end of the year, they give the money back, right? So that does fix the cost because it's a high estimate. Another thing is the cost of insurance, right? This is usually a very fixed number. It rarely goes up, but we're in an insurance crisis. And then the other part of the HOAs is exterior maintenance, being paint and roofs and things like that, asphalt, paving, parking lots. Well, during a condo's lifespan, it goes through a period where it's going to need a new roof and it's going to need new paint. And these are special assessments that are thrown out. And when I'm looking to buy rentals in condominiums, I am looking for those complexes that are of a certain age. It's usually about every 20 years or so, you're going to be needing a new roof and paint for sure. Paint usually comes in a 10-year cycle that I've found, and roofs come in a 20-year cycle. When these assessments come out, the paint's not that bad, the roof's usually pretty bad. And what it does is it throws a bunch of homeowners in shock because they don't have the money set aside. They've got to go raise money. Every once in a while, every 20 years, you can come across a year where some of these condo complexes have not only a roof assessment, but a paint assessment as well. And the board sometimes can be pretty lackadaisical or not realize it's needed until it's too late, till there's leaks in roofs that they're having to repair on certain units. And at the same time, they're seeing peeling paint and they're having to do it. And it really shocks the entire complex. And this is an amazing, amazing buying opportunity. Now, we're not only talking about the fundamentals of these condo cycles, right? The repairs. We're going to get into what's going on with the inflation and the insurance collapse right now. So we're going to get into that too. Well, under normal circumstances, when I'm working these cycles, I like to go and find these complexes, and I'll ask my real estate agent in whatever area of the country I'm looking for these in and say, hey, are any special assessments being put out on these complexes? And the agents are the first people to know because they're either representing sellers that are panicking and say, I can't afford to live here. I have to leave now. I want out of these HOAs, because that's the first thing they go, okay, HOAs are horrible. They're evil. This price just snuck up on me. When in all reality, a lot of homeowners that live in condos, they live in it for that specific reason. They don't want to be bugged by extra fees. They don't want to go paint their house or do their roof, right? And so when they get this, it's like a sticker shock for them. And so the real estate agents know this. And then if they're not, talking to their clients and representing sellers in condo complexes, they're talking to other agents. So it gets really widespread. Well, it's an interesting marketing approach, because some agents will say it's better that you pay off the assessment and then we market the condo as the assessment's already paid. A lot of other agents don't realize the ramifications of someone like me walking in, or someone like you, hopefully. And type 1, if you understand what I'm talking about, you've seen this before, or type 1 if you want to take advantage of this, learn about this. But people like me coming in and going, oh, I'm going to take advantage of the hysteria in the seller, and I'm going to get this thing knocked down a ton in price, possibly even 10%, which is way more than the actual special assessment in the first place. But because most people don't have a lot of money, that's the bed they made for themselves, right? It's their fault, not mine. My job is to teach you how to go take advantage of these things and make money. And making money a lot of times is through saving money. So a lot of real estate agents will just not really talk to their clients real well or advise them well because they're not investors themselves. They're not thinking like you or I. So that's one thing. Well, now we have something so insane, it's crazy. That's an insurance crisis. Insurance is not only exploding higher in price. Now, let me back up. State Farm announced, 2 months ago, that in July and August, they're going to be canceling 72,000 policies just in California alone. They're doing it in Florida. They're doing it all over the country, but really mainly in California and Florida, right? But it's affecting the whole nation. Prices are skyrocketing, all right? So even though they're canceling in California, they're going to raise their prices in other states. But here's the key thing. They're canceling, when they say a policy, that could be an entire condominium complex policy. This is happening. I went up to visit in Lake Tahoe a little while back, and there's a town called Incline Village. It's one of the richest zip codes in the country because all the wealthy elites live there, okay? And there is a lot of condo complexes, and they are actually being completely either canceled, you don't get insurance, or they're raising rates exponentially. Well, a lot of these condo complex, the condo owners, you have to remember, they bought their condo when it was $250,000, even maybe $600,000 a mere 5 years ago, 6 years ago, right? They're not the wealthy elite. However, they live in a zip code that is one of the wealthiest. Well, they have actually, this is such a crisis over there. It was pretty impressive. I saw on a Facebook post that they're building a group, a community action group, for lack of better terms, like a working group to fight these insurance companies because they shouldn't be able to just jack up their rates or cancel them. Well, this is the exact position I'm telling you about when I'm talking about people sort of losing their minds. Sellers lose their minds. They don't get it. They don't understand economics. They don't understand the ramifications of inflation. They don't even understand why homes go up. They just go, well, homes go up, so I'm just going to buy one. And they're going to lose their homes. There are actually condo complexes up there that are under special assessments. And some of the complexes go, we're not even going to be able to collect on some of these because they're $8,000, $10,000 a piece. So what we're doing is we're bumping up your HOAs to like $800 or $1,000 a month when they normally used to be $300, $350, just to like get ready for the coming paint job that the complex needs, or the coming insurance wave where the prices skyrocket, or the new roof that is needed, right? And people are liquidating these. They're selling them. Now, ironically, because inventory is light right now, these properties are getting picked up. But you have to understand the extreme stress, and it's happening this spring. I was up there visiting, and I walked into a Starbucks, and I started talking to someone and asked where they lived, and they said a condo. I said, oh, what's it like? They're like, well, we're being kicked out because our owner's selling the place because they can't afford the HOA. And we were at a Starbucks, and the Bertista or whatever overheard it and said, wait a minute, I'm being kicked out too of that same complex for the same reason. So just in one coffee shop, I ran into 2 different people being evicted, renters, because the owners are like, we better cut bait now. We can't afford the monthly payments. It's killing our cash flow. And we see the writing on the wall. So inventory is increasing, right? So hopefully you can see where I'm going with this. These are all opportunities. Now, another thing about condos, because I think they are the ones that fall the worst. And I know this because during the last crash, I actually right at the not at the top, but in 2004, I put in a deposit on a luxury condominium down Lake Havasu, Arizona. Lakeview, and I was just going to flip it. And I ended up giving that one back because the market collapsed on condos way before they started dumping on homes. And I love condominiums as a rental because I can't stand HOAs. I hate them, right? For myself. But if I'm going to put a tenant in there and I can rent it, and there's a lot of people watching my tenants, the first sign of a problem, I'm getting a phone call. And I don't have to worry about any exterior maintenance and things like that. I like it. And I love the fact that there's so much emotion tied with condos. The higher the emotion, the more opportunity there is for a real estate investor. Please understand that, because all you have to do is solve someone's problem. And either solving it comes in the form of, you want to sell a house, I'm the only buyer, so this is what I'm willing to pay, and you've solved their problem, or you come up with creative financing. I think that what you're going to see in the condo market is going to be absolutely exponentially awesome, for lack of better terms. Look, I know I'm going to do something too that I haven't done ever. I mean, I've done a couple AMAs, but I want you to do an AMA. I'm going to open up an AMA to everyone, free, obviously. It's just an ask me anything about real estate, because my greatest work has been, and I've realized this lately with what I just went through with this masterclass of real estate investors and real estate agents, that every month I meet with them and I answer all their problems. Like, what's the problem? And if I don't have the answer, I'll come back in a month and I'm going to have the answer and we're going to fix this. And I want to do that for everyone. So I'm putting a link to the newsletter. If you want to sign up, in about 2 weeks, we're going to do a free live AMA where you can ask me all of your real estate questions. And I'm going to answer your questions and I'm going to solve problems. And that's what I do. That's one of my gifts. And so if you want to sign up for it, it's down below. It'll be limited to 1,000 people. So when the link gets emailed to you, just sign up fast. And it's just limited because of Zoom. So anyway, I hope you got something out of this. I thank you so much for watching. The Real Estate Ninja is out.